There are so many moments, so many reasons why Invincible Season 2 is a must-watch. It is easily one of the best shows out right now, and it was a great continuation from the first season that took the world by storm. And I could go on and on about the animation style, the phenomenal fight scenes, the in-depth world building, etc, and I'll probably even touch upon these during the video. But what's going to keep you invested from episode to episode is the immense amount of character development for practically everyone, but especially for Mark and Nolan. Let's start with the main protagonist. Throughout the entire season, Mark is really battling with two specific things. The first is finding his own identity outside of the infamous shadow that is his father's legacy on Earth that continuously looms over him. And the first time we see this is with Cecil's confrontation about Mark returning to his superhero activities, where Mark loses his temper at the thought of him ever being his father. We also see it with all the cold-hearted stares and or glances towards him from people like the Immortal. Mark can constantly feel the never-ending mistrust towards him, and it really puts a visibly heavy weight on his shoulders. And the second is him trying to balance two separate lives, one being a normal college kid with a girlfriend, and the other being the strongest superhero on Earth and the son of a legendary Viltrumite. And time again, he continuously fails at being there for his school, for his friends, for his lover, because his second life of being a superhero takes more and more away from him. And it starts crashing down with the last two episodes of the season, where both of his worlds start to blend together. And Mark doesn't handle this well, to say the least. Especially in the last episode of the show, where, without getting into spoilers, he does something without question his father would have done. And this flat out breaks Mark, whereafter he accepts the fact that he isn't normal, so he can't live a normal life. He has to become stronger, not only to be able to protect the ones he loves, but to be able to control himself, to get a better understanding of his own strength, and to never slip down the road of being a true Viltrumite. And to close this segment off, I love how it's Cecil who's the one that comforts Mark, telling him that he's obviously not his father, because the first instance where we see Mark dealing with this issue involves Cecil implying that Mark's actions are no different than his father's. And now he's the voice of reason, truly believing that Mark is a better person. I don't know, I think it's a really neat way going full circle with these two, showing the development of their relationship. And the other character who got an extensive amount of development is Nolan. And I don't know how to really talk about this without spoiling a shit ton of season 2, so let's just say, you know the old saying, you don't know what you have until you lost it? Well, that really applies to Omni-Man here. And on top of that, he's gaining a better understanding of life and how precious it is. He truly starts to feel remorse for his actions that took place on Earth. And I love how it isn't as simple as him becoming depressed about his actions, realizing it was bad. Instead, he's frustrated with himself for even having these emotions. He's questioning why he's changing and why he feels so much empathy towards a lesser life form that he knows based off his Viltrumite teachings aren't even worth a second thought. Killing them is as insignificant to a Viltrumite as literally stepping on a bug. And yet, Nolan feels an immense amount of regret. I just think this is really well written. Not to mention, they also do a really good job with the side characters, albeit I don't really care for them as much as I care for Mark and Nolan. But seeing Robot trying to get a better understanding of people and how they're not just simply problems to fix, or Rex actually showing steps to emotional maturity, or the Immortal going through some heavy shit, I can't really get into details without completely spoiling it, so that's all I'll say for that. But you get the point. The characters and their development are amazing. And I haven't even got to the other characters that expand the world of Invincible, like Alan and the other Viltrumites, who are also really badass. If you see any of these motherfuckers in a battle, you know it's gonna be a vicious dogfight. Which, mind you, Invincible did not slouch on the choreography at all. It is just as gory, brutal, and entertaining as season 1. Maybe even more so now as there's much more character development and world building tied to it, giving it much more weight. The last thing I want to quickly mention is the animation style, and I think it's good, even though it's not really my preferred style, as I enjoy Western cartoons mimicking the style of anime much more, like for example Avatar: The Last Airbender, Boondocks, Afro Samurai, etc. But I can still appreciate how well it's animated, especially during the fight scenes, as I said said previously. But all in all, if you don't see the bigger picture, I really like this show. I think it's beyond good. If you haven't watched Invincible Season 2, but you watched Season 1, then this is a must watch. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, consider liking, subscribing, and comment below what I should do next. I'll do animes, shows, movies, games, whatever. But again, thank you so much for watching.